So from the year 2016, which is 7 years ago now,
yes,
y'all have been apart.
Really? Hey everyone, Just Be here, and I came across this clip that apparently is starting to go viral about Will Smith and Jada Pinkett Smith's marriage, that apparently they've been separated for longer than we've been led to believe. Yeah, even before the Oscars slap happened. Let's take a look at it.
we are back 8:14 with Carson and Hoda's exclusive interview with Jada Pinkett Smith, and everyone's going to be talking about this.
Yeah, she is one half of Hollywood's most powerful couple. She's at the center of constant gossip and controversy, including that slap at the Oscars. She was sitting right next to Will Smith. And when we met up with Jada in her hometown of Baltimore to talk about her candid new memoir, Worthy, she opened up about an issue that has been
she's
kept
dropping a book.
secret until now.
There are so many surprising things in the book, but the thing that surprised me the most, that I actually had to reread it because I said, is this true?
Right.
Was that in 2016, you and Will decided that you were going to live completely separate lives.
Yes.
It was not a divorce on paper,
Right.
but it was a divorce. So from the year 2016, which is 7 years ago now,
Yes.
y'all have been apart.
Really?
But in public, the couple, who married in 1997, denied the gossip about their marriage.
They
This
certainly
interview
have.
on Bravo's Watch What Happens Live with Andy Cohen was taped a year after Will and Jada separated.
So how long have you guys been together?
So 2017.
23 years.
That's amazing. How do you keep it hot?
How do I keep it hot? You know.
Lying. Oh my gosh.
Maybe I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm baffled, really.
Yeah, right.
Over the next several
Couldn't even
years,
answer that one.
Jada and Will kept up the appearance
Wow.
of a committed married couple. They
Wow.
even faced a scandal when Jada had what she called an entanglement with a
Entanglement.
family friend.
Yep.
Neither let the public know they had already split.
So I guess my question is,
Sheesh.
I feel like you're a straight talker,
I am.
except you're not sometimes.
Yeah.
So why do that? Like, what was the reason?
I think just not being ready yet. Still trying to figure out between the two of us
Wow.
how to be in partnership, right? And in regards to how do we present that to people, you know? And we hadn't figured that out.
During our walk in Baltimore, Jada reflected on their breakup.
Bro, they literally were at the Oscars together, and Will made this whole thing about defending his wife's honor, and they're there together, but they're not together, and they hadn't even been together for 6 years? That's insane.
Why did the relationship fracture?
Oh, well, why it fractured?
Yeah, why?
That's a lot of things.
Yeah.
And I think
She
by the
won't
time
say.
we got to 2016, we were just exhausted with trying. I think we were both kind of still stuck in our fantasy of what we thought the other person should be.
Jada says she considered a legal divorce, but could never go through with it.
I made a promise that there will never be a reason for us to get a divorce.
I remember this. One of the things that she and Will said was that they would never get divorced, even if they were just living on separate sides of their house. Like, we're in it. Bad marriage for life.
We'll work through whatever. And I just haven't been able to break that promise.
Hold on real quickly. You guys want to see something crazy? Over 99% of you guys that watch my content are not subscribed. So I'm asking real quickly, if you don't mind, just hit the like button and hit subscribe real quickly. I'd love to keep on giving this content to you guys, and lets me know that people actually are interested. Feel free to do that, man. Really appreciate it a lot. Would help me out a long way in growing my small channel. Thanks. Now back to the video. Oh, I mean,
But you still-
you're doing it because you guys are separated. You won't get a legal divorce, but you know, you were sleeping with someone else. Allegedly, he was sleeping with someone else, someone who may have starred in Barbie. I mean, allegedly. That's not confirmed, but it's a very, very popular rumor with some evidence that some people have. But yeah.
Still live separately.
We live separately.
I have so many questions.
So do I.
They have been living separately for all this time. Wow.
So many
It
questions.
was the strangest. It was the strangest kind of revelation to realize that these two people have had separate lives. I mean, they have not called each other husband and wife in all of those years.
Except for the appearance everywhere they went.
Except for the appearances, right?
Keeping-
Including at the
keeping it up.
Oscars.
Yes.
Wow.
By the way, there's a whole chunk in this book that we're going to get into in the Dateline special and also a little later here of what happened in that moment when he said, get my wife's name out of your mouth,
Yes.
that kind of thing.
Yeah.
There's a whole backstory there, too. But Jada is candid and honest in this book. I mean, she's saying things that she's never said, so they've kind of been living this pretend life publicly.
That's what it is. It's a pretend life. They've been pretending and putting on for the cameras and to protect the brand. Because, Will has this family-friendly brand for the most part of it. Fresh Prince to Disney movies and Nickelodeon and all that kind of stuff. And obviously other action films and whatnot. But he has this, for the most part, wholesome family image. And so if you want to protect the money, you got to protect the bag. You got to keep the brand up. I'm the family guy, it's married to my wife, Jada, and my two kids, Willow and Jaden, and, this is us. You can kind of come out with this stuff because it's kind of hard to keep it together. But really and truly, I mean, does Will know that she was putting this stuff inside the book? I mean, he had stuff in his book, but did he speak about their marriage in his book? Is the question. Is he waking up to this information like how we're waking up to it?
For years.
They knew the secret. They know it.
So
They
now
just haven't
she's
shared
telling
it.
everyone.
Yeah.
But they're not divorced.
Nope.
So they're
And
separated.
they don't plan on it. They don't plan on getting divorced.
I think a lot of American families can
But
relate.
technically, you're living like you are. You're trying to say, we don't want to get legal divorce, but you guys have already, you're living separately. And I mean, you're getting your itch scratched somehow. I mean, let's be honest. We're all adults. Wow.
Though I think there's a lot more distance between husbands and wives than anybody ever really talks about.
Yeah.
But this sounds like something.
Yeah, that's a bigger goal.
Yeah, it's a bigger delta.
We have a lot more on this conversation. I was fascinated by her, by the way. First time I'd sat down and spoke with her for a long period of time.
Oh, I
You
wanted
read
to
the
see
book?
more.
We
I
have
read
the
the
book
book
here.
from cover to cover. Yeah, we're going to do a special on NBC News. It's called Jada's Story, Friday night, 8/7 Central.
I want to hear your podcast with her so
on
we can go
NBC.
2 hours
Sure, a lot of
long.
people are
Let's
gonna be
go,
watching
Carson.
that.
All right.
Well, it's going to
No,
be
you go.
so
Do that.
interesting because, how people are going to react because it's one thing. Everyone understands a marriage breaking up or, things being complicated with your family, but then the kind of
goes
public
in the-
ruse is, I know you ask her a lot about
Yeah,
that.
there'll be a lot more. And we want to mention also that Jada also spoke to People Magazine, which is on stands this week.
And she's going to be here live in studio Monday, correct?
Yeah, she'll be here Monday. Okay. Got a lot going on.
Wow, that's a lot. That is a lot. I am very surprised. I'm sure a lot of you guys are hearing this information because you would think based off of when she had that red table talk and revealed to everybody that, she had an entanglement with August Alsina and, remember sleepy, sad Will with the red eyes looking at her while he was listening to her kind of reveal this. You would have thought that, that was a phase. We went through our marital difficulties and now we're coming back together and we're working on this thing. To know that they've been living separately for 7 years now, but still pretending for the public like they're together, you almost wonder how many other people are doing that. And you almost wonder what kind of mental impact does that have on their children? That almost teaches their children to not have real relationships with people themselves. That's fake, man. Where's the authenticity? Where's the real stick-to-itness? It's living separately for all that amount of time. That's not ideal. That's not a marriage. You're having a paper marriage, but the essence and the nuance of an actual one, you're not living it out. And then you're also not living it out for your kids, for your family. All they're seeing is this pretense. What's the purpose? That's why I say, man, we can't ever try to compare ourselves to celebrities. They live a different kind of life. they're in a whole different world. This whole thing was literally for the Smith brand and the Smith reputation. But now this is starting to come out, and I wonder, like, what's gonna be Will's public response to this? Or is he gonna, you know, pretend like, oh yeah, I knew she was gonna say this and I gave my sign off for her to put it in the book? But I don't know. That's a big one. There's also a Variety article where she says basically she thought the Oscars slap was actually a skit, and reveals, yeah, that, like we saw in the clip before, that they were separated for 6 years before that. Jada Smith is finally ready to talk about this slap, revealing to People magazine that she originally thought it was a skit when Will took stage after the presenter Chris Rock made a joke about Jada's bald head. Yes, we all remember this. He was presenting, and it's the first time that she has addressed the slap outside of posting an Instagram graphic, you know, like last year. She said, I thought this was a skit. I was like, there's no way that Will hit him. And it wasn't until Will started to walk back to his chair that I even realized it wasn't a skit. Once the two were alone, Jada said she asked Will, are you okay? I'm going to be by his side, Jada told People about the slap, but also allow him to have to figure out this for himself. Rock's joke about Jada's bald head proved divisive because of her public battle with alopecia. Will took the stage and slapped him across the face, saying, keep my wife's name out of your bleeping bleep. And he's been banned from the Oscars events for about 10 years. So she says that we're still figuring it out. And she told People magazine about the state of her marriage to Will, revealing that they'd been separated for 6 years. We've been doing some heavy duty work together. We have just got deep love for each other, and we're gonna figure out what that looks like for us. I made a promise that there will never be a reason for us to get a divorce, she added. We'll work through whatever, and I just haven't been able to break that promise. We live separately. I think by the time we got to 2016, we were just exhausted with trying. I think we were both kind of just still stuck in a fantasy of what we thought the other person should be. Well, I think, you know, they might continue to have that issue, because the reality is that none of them are going to change to be who the other person's going to be. You either accept Will for who he is, he either accepts Jada for who she is, or that's that. If you haven't changed in they've been married for almost 30 years now, you're not going to. I mean, but like I said, these celebrities live a different life than us, a very, very different life. Anyway, let me know what you guys think in the comments, man. I'm sure everyone's surprised by this news, and maybe some of you weren't actually surprised, if we're being honest. But yeah, very, very different lives these celebrities live. Feel free to like, comment, and subscribe, guys. Until next time, peace.